Hannah here. It's part 3 of graphing quadratic equations. In this video we're going to use the shortcut of finding the intercepts and letting that graph our equation for us. Okay, so first thing, if we think back to any old quadratic equation, one of the features we notice is that it's symmetrical about the turning point. It's the same on this side as it is on that side of the turning point. In other words, we can find the turning point if we know the intercepts, because the turning point is going to be halfway between the two intercepts. And that's the basis of this shortcut. So the easiest way to find the intercepts is probably actually to use the quadratic formula. Because the quadratic formula, it solves the quadratic equation, which just means finding the intercepts. So just to remind you, the quadratic equation says that the x-intercepts are at minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And these a's, b's and c's are all in reference to the quadratic being in expanded form, which is the most common, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So let me just show you this method using an example. So let's say that we're asked to graph y equals x squared minus x minus 6. Okay, well let's find the, well first off, straight away we know that the y-intercept is minus 6 because of the constant term here being minus 6. So just keep that in mind, and we also know straight away the orientation is a normal positive orientation or smiley face orientation because this is positive here. Okay, so let's find the x-intercepts using the quadratic formula. So this is probably going to be much quicker and easier for most people than completing the square and then using difference of perfect squares. So we've got x squared equals minus b. Well, that's b is minus 1 here. Maybe I'll write this out. A is 1 because there's 1 here. B is this coefficient, so that's minus 1. And c is minus 6. So you can just use this key here to find those values. Alright, so now we're ready to start. So minus 1 is 1, plus or minus. Square root of minus 1 squared is 1. Minus 4 times 1 times c, which is minus 6. All of that divided by 2 times 1. Okay, so x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4 times 1 times minus 6 is positive 24 divided by 2. X equals 1 plus or minus. Here I might skip a step because we can see that this is going to be 25 and the square root of 25 is 5. 2. So x either equals 1 plus 5, which is 6 on 2, or 1 minus 5, which is minus 4 on 2. So x equals 3 or x equals minus 2. Okay, so our x values are 3 or minus 2. So now we still need to find the turning point, because so far this is as much as we can graph is come through here at minus 6. We've got a minus 2 value here. We've got positive 3. Better not forget to write my labels, x and y. So it's going to be doing something like this. Okay, so I know this turning point here is going to be halfway between my 2 and my 3, whatever this value here turns out to be. So to find that x value, and hence find the turning point, we can find halfway between these x values. Finding halfway is the same as finding the average. So in other words, we're going to add them both together. 3 plus minus 2, divide by 2, because it's two values. 3 plus minus 2 gives 1, so that equals 1 at the top and 2 as the denominator. So it's a half. So this value here is a half. So the coordinate is a half. Now let's find the y value here. Well, when x is a half, we've got to put a half back into this equation. So when x is a half, y is a half squared minus a half minus 6, which will be half squared is a quarter minus a half minus 6. And if you've got a calculator handy, you can do it on the calculator, or else you can make sure everything has a denominator of a quarter. Quarter minus 2 quarters minus 24 quarters. Well, we've got minus 26 quarters, take away 1, so it's minus 25 on 4, and we will leave it as minus 25 on 4. 25 on 4, you should get used to using improper fractions as much as possible. So that is our final graph and our final answer. So there is this shortcut using the quadratic formula to first find the intercepts, then find the average value to find the x value, put it back into our original equation to find the y coordinate for our turning point. So there we go. That's an alternative to using our three forms